Kahala Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Hamashiach. All praises to Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai first and foremost. So we're going to be reading out of Acts 9. I'm going to start at verse 10. And there was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias, and to him said the Lord Yahweh in a vision, Ananias. And he said, Behold, I am here, Lord Yahweh. And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayeth, and hath seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in, and putting his hand on him, that he might receive his sight. Then Ananias answered, Lord Yahweh, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he hath done to thy saints at Jerusalem, and here he hath authority from the chief priests to bind all that call on thy name. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. And Ananias went his way and entered into the house, and putting his hands on him, said, Brother Saul, the Lord, even Yahushai, that appeared unto thee in the way as thou camest, hath sent me, that thou mightest fulfill thy sight, and be filled with the Holy Ghost. And immediately there fell from his eyes as it had been scales, and he received sight forthwith, and arose and was baptized. Right? So right there, it already shows you, like, baptism is not by water, it's by faith, right? And it's when the Holy Ghost comes on you. It's not by dunking you in the water, right? So from Acts 9, we're going to go to Acts 22. All right? It's talking about the same man, Ananias, right? And we're going to start at 8, right? And I answered, Who art thou, Lord? Actually, we're going to start at verse 7, right? This is Paul, also known as formerly Saul, speaking. And I fell unto the ground, and heard a voice saying unto me, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And I answered, Who art thou, Lord? And he said unto me, I am Yahushai of Nazareth, whom thou persecutest. And they that were in Salakia were with me saw indeed the light, and were afraid. But they heard not the voice of him that spake to me. And I said, What shall I do, Lord Yahushai? And the Lord Yahushai said unto me, Arise and go into Damascus, and there it shall be told thee of all things which are appointed for thee to do. And when I could not see for the glory of that light, being led by the hand of them that were with me, I came into Damascus. Right? And here's the ship landing right here. And one Ananias, same man we were talking about in Acts 9, Salakia, a devout man according to the law, having a good report of all the Jews which dwelt there. Right? So my question is to all the so-called Christians, right? Why did Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai choose Ananias, a devout man according to the law, to reveal this message unto Paul? right? After the crucifixion, right? It's because, I'm going to show you why, right? It's because the law is not abolished, right? And this is Paul speaking in Acts 24 and 14, right? This is when he has a council in front of the Jews, in front of Felix, right? But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I the God of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets. Right? And verse 5, it gets even crazier, right? Verse 5 through 6, it gets even crazier. Right? Salakia. I should have read these first. For we have found this man a pestilent fellow and a mover of sedition among all the Jews throughout the world, and a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. Right? So the term Christian was actually derived from the Gentiles who gave us that name in Turkey, right? They're originally called the Nazarenes after Yahushua of Nazareth, right? But they're still Israelites. Salakia, verse 6. Who also hath gone about to profane the temple, whom we took and would have judged according to our law. That's a kill shot right there, because all these Christians always trying to use Paul, right, to tap dance their way around the law, right? But in Acts, I say Acts is the greatest book to prove the law, right? The law is still in enactment, right? Because it says right here, he's judging according to the law. So everything that these so-called Christians bring up in Romans or Galatians, Paul clearly would have not been talking against the law. Because according to the law, which he claimed to follow himself, if he was talking against the law, he'll be put to death. Right? Now, because in Deuteronomy 4 and 2, it says, ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God Yahweh, which I command you. Right? So, and this is a commandment in the law. And if Paul is breaking this law by telling you so-called Christians to go and eat pork and not wear fringes, right, then he'll be breaking the law according to his own standards. But clearly he's not. You just need the scales removed from your eyes, right? And going back into Acts, right? In Acts 27 and verse right in Acts 27 and verse 9, right? This is Paul. He's sailing to Rome, I believe, right? And it says, now when much time was spent, and when sailing was now dangerous, because the fast was now already past, Paul admonished them, right? Now, when you go into different translations, right, the word for the fast, you're going to see the word for the fast, right? It's already there. Kahala Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh. right? I think it's in the, all right, in the footnote, right? It says A, 27:9, Greek, because the fast was already gone. By this fast was associated with the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, which occurred in late September or early October. And I think in some other we're gonna get the NSA. We're gonna get the NASB. Nah, we're gonna get the NIV. Right. Much time had been lost, and sailing has already become dangerous because by now it was after the Day of Atonement. Right. So clearly, this is talking. It only mentions the Day of Atonement or so-called fast because they did the fast, which means they also did the Yom Kippur or Salaki. They also did the Feast of Tabernacles, right? Which followeth, right? And in we're gonna get 21, right? This is probably a classic, right? Right. Okay, Salaki. So um and okay, I'm gonna start at verse 20. So Acts 21 and 20. And when they had heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto them, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law. And they are informed of thee that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses. Right? So this verse right here, 21 and 21, it shows that the so-called Gentiles that Paul is preaching to are Jews. They're just among the Gentiles, which makes them part of the Gentile community, so-called Gentile community, right? To forsake Moses, right? Saying that they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after the customs. What is it therefore? The multitude must needs come together, for they will hear that thou art come. Right? So these Jews that were living among the Gentiles thought that Paul was preaching that the law was done away with, which is exactly what these so-called dumb-ass Christians say today, that we are not under the law, right? Clearly they haven't read Acts, right? So Salakia, reading at 23. Do therefore this that we say to thee. We have 4 men which have a vow on them, right? And this vow, it must be some sort of Levitical. I don't know if Levitical is the right word, but some sort of vow according to the law, right? And this vow is actually the Nazarite vow. Take them and purify thyself with them, and be at charges with them, that they may shave their heads, and all may know that those things whereof they were informed concerning thee are nothing, but that thou thyself also walkest orderly and keepest the law. As touching the Gentiles which believe, we have written and concluded that they observe no such thing, save only that they keep themselves from offering things to idols, and from blood, and from strangled, and from fornication. Then Paul took the men, and the next day, purifying himself with them, entered into the temple to signify the accomplishments the accomplishment of the days of purification, until that offering should be offered for every one of them, right? And he's bringing them into the temple, right? And this is obviously before it got destroyed, but he's bringing them into the temple, right? Oh wait, Christians, I thought we didn't need the temple after Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, right? So clearly there's still sacrifices being done. And in verse 38, we're just gonna leave one last kill shot, right? This is Acts 21 and 38. Art not thou that Egyptian which before these days madest an uproar, and leddest out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? Right? So the Roman captain mistaked him for an Egyptian rebel, right? But the only reason he would mistake him for an Egyptian is if he was black, so-called black, or of a dark complexion, right? We're going to get that in First Chronicles 1 and verse 8, right? Because the Egyptians are sons of Ham, right? This is First Chronicles 1 and verse 8. The sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, Put, and Canaan, right? And if you search up Mizraim meaning in Hebrew, Egypt, right? Egypt, right? You can see right there. Mizraim is the Hebrew cognate of a common Semitic source word for the land now known as Egypt. And in Arabic, the word for Egypt is similar, right? Masri, right? And Arabic is actually derived from Hebrew, right? And so the main question is to these so-called Christians, right? Why did Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai pick a man devout of the law to be a vessel to open up Paul's eyes? And why was Paul still preaching the law after Yahweh Shai HaMashiach got crucified? And why did he go into the temple to offer a sacrifice after Yahweh Shai HaMashiach got crucified? Right? And we're going to show that, right? I'm going to show that in one last precept. This is John 9, verse 4 through 5, right? I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. So, if he is the light of the world, then we have to walk in the light. We have to walk in his footsteps, which means we have to do what Yahweh Shai HaMashiach did, which is living according to the law. And in John 11 and verse 9 through 10, it says, Yahweh Shai answered, are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. So this is direct correlation to chapter 9, right? If he is the light of the world, and we do not walk in the light, we will stumble. And that's what these Christian pastors do today. Condoning the alphabet community, condoning eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, condoning shaving your beard, condoning bald-headedness, right? I'm going to give all praises, honor, glory, and respect to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Kwam Yasharallah,